Hey guys, Andrew Shrout here in the sideboard. I'm here with Ross Merriam,
Hey.
at-large participant in the Players' Championship. We're here to talk about your Legacy deck, which is a deck that you are very well known for.
Yep.
So no big surprises here. You're playing Elves.
Yeah, to the surprise of exactly no one.
Okay. So this is a deck we've all seen you play before. It's a pretty common staple in Legacy. So we'll kind of run through the deck very briefly. I'll just let you take the reins here, honestly.
Sure. I'm pretty well known for the Heritage Druid Sentinel Glimpse combos, how the deck started, but we're more of a natural order deck now, but pretty standard set of Elves. Visionary, super important for grinding out the mid-range decks.
Okay.
Deathrite Shaman is basically your aggro plan. Most people think that you just sort of beat down with 2/2s and 1/1s, and do that a little bit, but really the aggro plan is Quirion Ranger, Deathrite Shaman, activate Deathrite Shaman 6 times in a turn. No one ever expects it.
So it's like beat down, but they can't block, basically.
Yeah. Why would I let them block?
Yeah, and then of course Symbiote to pair with your Visionaries.
Yep. Pretty typical Elves list, basically the same deck I've been playing. To be fair, I tried real hard not to play this deck. If you had told me I was going to play this deck 3 months ago, I would have told you you're stupid.
All right.
I really wanted to do something surprising in Legacy.
Okay.
I've played Legacy for a long time, so I know a lot of the decks in the format. I felt comfortable that I could switch to something, but I just took so much time testing Standard and trying to figure out what my deck choice was going to be in Standard that I ran out of time, and I couldn't come up with another Legacy deck I liked enough to not play Elves.
Okay.
Which I'm just so comfortable with.
What were the other considerations?
I considered Storm, I considered Dredge, I considered Lands, I considered 12 Post because of the known Miracles pilots. I thought Reed, Joe, and BBD could all easily play Miracles.
Okay.
So I did consider 12 Post.
All right.
I mean, I always think about just playing like Blue-Red Delver, but I don't really see the edge to be gained there. I'm playing a deck that people are expecting anyway, so if I was going to switch, I was going to switch to something more niche. And really, Dredge was the closest one. I sort of wanted to play Dredge, but I read some articles, I got up to speed, I felt like I knew the mechanics well enough, but I just couldn't pull the trigger. Maybe I'm a coward.
Well, to be fair, you've had a lot of success with Elves. So.
Yeah, I just fall back on it. It really, the last couple months, I've felt a little bit worse about the deck.
Okay.
You know, I wrote about how I didn't feel too confident going into Jersey, even though that tournament ended really well. The Elves deck is taking a lot of splash damage recently because the rise of Young Pyromancer means people have answers to cheap small creatures in more abundance now, and everyone always has Grafdigger's Cage, and now they have Containment Priest as well to stop natural order. I've definitely adjusted some of my tactics from even a month ago in how I'm approaching the fair matchups because they've gotten a little worse, but I think across the board Elves has taken a bit of a hit. But.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about your preparation. I know you said that you focused on Standard, you tried a lot of things, and you eventually just settled back on Elves. How big of a concern is it for you that everyone expects you to play Elves?
That is my concern. That's sort of the reason I wanted to switch. The thing is, it's 15 people in the tournament, and or 16 people. I'm only one of them, and the other 15, are they really going to add 1 or 2 extra cards just to beat me? Probably not. They're going to look more towards decks that multiple people are playing, 3 or 4 of them are on Blue-Red Delver, 2 or 3 people playing Miracles. There might be multiple Storm players. I think they're going to focus their efforts there, and hopefully they just sort of stick with what they normally have for Elves and don't overload.
Okay.
I actually had a conversation with Brad last weekend in Seattle, and because we were in the same house, and we talked a little bit about what we thought people were going to play, and he just flat out told me straight to my face a week ago, yeah, you're going to sit there and think about playing other decks, and then eventually you're going to play Elves. And I wanted to change that. That added an extra motivating factor. I just wanted to spite him.
Sure.
It's no, Brad, I'm going to play something else.
Man.
I
have Brad win.
I know. Well, hopefully I don't let him win in the tournament.
Okay,
but
fair enough.
We'll get him there.
All right. Well, the ultimate trump to that would be if you beat him playing Elves.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I'll get him in the... I don't want to get him in the elimination round because that means I didn't win my bracket, but we'll get him in pool play on day 2 or something.
All right. Okay.
To lock up the top 4 slot.
All right.
That works.
So we'll get to the sideboard real quickly. This is a list that you've been tuning for years now.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've kind of been updating it over time, but for this particular tournament, are there any changes to your list that are significant here?
Not really, no significant changes. I definitely thought about main decking the Scavenging Ooze and Reclamation Sage that a lot of people have in the main that I've always had in the board, and I just went down my list and said, do I want Reclamation Sage and or Scavenging Ooze against this deck? And it ended up coming out where it was a little less than half the field where I wanted each of them, so I'm just not going to main deck those cards. I also expect a few more combo decks than normal, which is another reason Elves as a deck choice worried me, and so having the streamlined really heavy combo feel in game one, I think will help me steal games. I did make a small change here. I normally have 4 Cabal Therapy and 2 Thoughtseize, and I went to 3/3. I've been a little bit underwhelmed with Therapy recently. If I just draw 1 discard spell, it's Therapy, and I have to go blind. A lot of the combo decks, you just have to sort of get lucky.
Sure.
If you draw 2 discard spells, you definitely want to draw 1 and 1, so you can Thoughtseize them and inform your Therapy.
Okay.
This is sort of the spice of the sideboard, but it's definitely things that I've played before, and Null Rod has been a feature of my board recently. These were slots that definitely could have changed, but when I thought about the metagame, this is what I wanted. I wanted extra cards against Miracles, and Needle and Null Rod are primarily there to shut down Sensei's Top.
Okay.
Their deck's actually pretty anemic without Sensei's Top, and I feel pretty good because they can't instant speed Terminus usually, unless they have like double Brainstorm or something. The split is nice because Needle will come in against things like lands if somebody plays that, but I have a feeling Brad is going to be sneak attacking, and so it comes in against that deck, whereas Null Rod comes in actually against Storm because it shuts down Lotus Petal and LED. Yeah, and I had Jim Davis on Storm because it's what he played last week, although reading his article he might switch. Hopefully he does. Don't want to play against Storm.
Okay.
And I had BBD as a possibility for playing Storm, so I wanted to be prepared there.
All right. And then, of course, these in particular, you mentioned you considered moving to the main.
Yeah, Ooze has been so good for me recently. So important against any of the fair decks, even like Jeskai. Because I mean, you'd think Ooze wouldn't be as good because they have Swords to Plowshares, but you just need a higher threat density against them that doesn't involve relying on natural order because you have so many ways to stop your natural orders now. And so Ooze can really get them as long as you just bait their plows early. And I mean, they have to use their spot removal spells early all the time, or you're just going to roll them over. So it's pretty easy to hold back the Ooze and get it down later. Okay. And they have a bunch of 2/2s, so you really need to rumble in combat with something big. They have Meddling Mage and Containment Priest.
Sure. I love that. You're the most resigned person I've talked to about your Legacy deck so far. You're just like, yeah, it's this deck. I win with it all the time. I hate that this is happening.
Yeah. I feel like I failed. I wanted to do something spicy for this tournament. This was like, I mean, normally I hate metagaming, and I say that all the time, and this is the one tournament where I felt like metagaming could get me an edge, and I spent the entire time trying to metagame, and I just came up with 2 stock decks that everyone knows about. So, I don't know, I feel like I failed somewhere, even though my decks are probably good.
Yeah, you should have a huge edge with Elves, considering that you play it so much, of course.
Yeah, I have a feeling everyone is actually not going too deep in the tank, barring Brad. Brad, he's always in the tank.
Okay.
He lives there.
Sure.
So I think everyone's just coming with what they know. So
well, the good news is, of course, the viewers tuning in, like nobody tunes into the Players Championship to watch Ross Merriam play Dredge.
Well, they should.
I guess if you were doing it, maybe some people would. But at least you're a man of the people this week. Right?
Yeah. So got to give the people what they want.
There's that. So
we're going to be tapping Forest for some sweet green mana, untapping some Elves.
Exactly.
Putting some Crater Hoofs into play.
For sure. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Stick around. We've got plenty more coverage coming at the Players Championship here in Roanoke.